Encounter a rushing mountain stream teeming with fish, armed solely with a rod, reel, and selection of flies in Freshwater Fly. Welcome to Tangermath Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp. Freshwater Fly is a 1 to 4 player dice drafting set collection game that plays in about an hour. It's designed by Brian Surrey and is being published by Bellwether Games and is on Kickstarter. Let's look at the prototype components. There's a game board, player boards, cards, tiles, tokens, dice, and more. At the beginning of the game, you'll place out the fish and rock cards on the board, also randomly place the tokens on the hatch tiles. Players receive a player board with a drag token and finesse token. Eventually, you'll get your first fly token that you'll place here. Here's a quick overview of Freshwater Fly. Players will be picking dice from a pool of dice to take an action, like casting, reeling, increasing their finesse, trying to catch the right fish for points and achievements. On your turn, you first take any one die from the remaining dice that were rolled at the beginning of the round, and can only use that die to take one action. You could cast it, find the column that matches the die value, choose a fish, and see if any of the hatch tokens match your fly token. If at least one does, then the player to your right shuffles the 4 strike cards and draws one. If it shows the fish, then you hooked it. If not, or if there were no matching hatch tokens, then you drift one column. When you drift to the next column, you see if at least one hatch token matches your fly there, and then the other player draws 2 strike cards. When you hook a fish, you'll take the matching hatch token, place it in your spinner, and also flip the hooked fish around and place it in the matching spot above your board. Now it's time to reel that fish in. This is another action you could take with the die. You compare the fish strength to your die value. If the fish strength is less, you then subtract the 2 and rotate the spinner the new amount. But if it's greater than or equal to it, you can't spin it. Each place your reel lands on will give you a bonus, like making the fish strength 0, gaining a momentum tile, increasing your finesse. And if it lands or passes here, then you move your fish 1 space to the left. Once it leaves your player board, you catch that fish, and you also gain the hatch token. You can also increase your finesse by 2 with the die action. When you have finesse, you can use it on your turn as a bonus action. They can do things like placing the drag token on your fish, swapping out your fly token, increasing or decreasing a die value by 1, moving a hatch token, and revealing an additional strike card. You'll have to move that finesse token down as a cost for what you do, so you have to have enough finesse in order to take the right action. Momentum tiles also give you a bonus action, and can help you cast to a specific column, increase your finesse, reroll your dice, and more. You could also gain rock cards during the game, and they can give you bonus actions too, like changing the die value, decreasing your finesse to help yourself out, and there's some endgame points. You'll get points at the end of the game as well from the fish you collected, general achievements shown on the game board, like sets of fish, and personal achievements. Each player board is a little different, but you're looking for certain colors of hatch tokens, certain fish, and things like that. The game will be over once someone catches 7 fish, and whoever has the most points is going to win the game. Now the gameplay is smooth and it flows well. You draft a die and take an action. Either going to probably be casting to get a fish or reeling that hooked fish in. There are a lot of fish to choose from on the game board, but you'll be limited by what goals you're trying to achieve and what dice are available. What die you choose on your turn not only matters for the power of your action, but also determines turn order for next round, because at the end of the round, players are going to be totaling up the dice that they used, and whoever got the lowest total value of dice is going to be able to go first the next round. And that matters because there is an uneven number of dice. So the first player is going to take 1 extra action compared to everyone else. The hatch tokens also start disappearing throughout the game, but more are drawn, so they're in constant supply. It just seemed like there were less available in certain spots until they went off the board. There are ways to mitigate the luck portion of the game with those bonus actions like finesse, being able to draw an extra strike card to hopefully hook the fish that you need. And there's replayability in the game too. With the different player boards, they have personal goals which will be different depending on what player board you use. And even replayable in how the fish and hatch tokens come out throughout the game. The colors work well and the fish are cool looking, but I really like the player board with the reel and how the token actually helps you reel in the fish. This game felt like fishing, which is good. It's a fishing game. You're casting out your line and hopefully hooking a fish and reeling it in. The gameplay comes into what fish you're trying to actually get and hopefully give you a lot of points, not only on the fish itself, but also on the achievements you're trying to complete. So if you enjoy fishing type games, then check out Freshwater Fly from Bellwether Games on Kickstarter, and we'd love for you to subscribe to Tantrum House.